The emergency room nurse wouldn't meet my eyes. She kept staring at her clipboard, fingers white against the edges, and I knew that look. I'd seen it in field hospitals in Kandahar when medics had to deliver news about soldiers who weren't coming back whole. "Mrs. Calloway, your daughter has significant injuries. The doctor will explain everything, but you should prepare yourself." Prepare myself? As if 20 years of military service could prepare any mother for seeing her baby broken in a hospital bed. But nothing, absolutely nothing, prepared me for what my daughter whispered when she finally opened her eyes. "Mom, I'm sorry." Her voice was so small, so fragile. "Dad was with Aunt Claire in your bed. When they saw me, he threw me down the stairs." The beeping of the machines faded. The hospital noise disappeared. All I could hear was my daughter's labored breathing and those impossible words echoing in my skull. "They're still there drinking whiskey in the kitchen. Daddy said to tell everyone I fell playing dress-up." 20 years of military training hadn't prepared me for this moment, but it sure as hell prepared me for what came next. My name is Captain Rachel Calloway, though I left that title behind 2 years ago when I traded my combat boots for a stethoscope at a veterinary clinic. People in our small Iowa town know me as Doc Ray, the woman who saves their pets and never talks about her 3 tour in Afghanistan. They don't know about the bronze star in my closet, or the nightmares that still wake me at 3:09 in the morning. My daughter Lily is 7 years old, with my stubborn chin and her father's green eyes. She loves dinosaurs, hates broccoli, and insists on wearing her purple rain boots even when the sun is shining. She is the reason I came home from the war, the reason I fight through the PTSD, the reason I get up every morning, even when the darkness tries to pull me under. My husband, Nathan, is what everyone calls a good man. He manages the local bank, coaches Little League on weekends, and used to bring me coffee in bed every Sunday morning. For the past few months, he'd been working late, missing dinners, growing distant, in that way that made me blame myself. Maybe I'd brought too much of the war home with me. And then there's Claire, my younger sister by 3 years. Where I'm all sharp edges and military precision, Claire flows like water. She sells real estate with a smile that could charm paint off a wall, shows up with wine when I'm having bad days, and has been Lily's favorite aunt since the day she was born. She taught her to braid hair, paint nails, and whistle loud enough to call dogs from 3 blocks away. The 4 of us were supposed to be a family. The morning had started like any other Thursday. I was at the clinic by 6:30, preparing for surgery on a tabby cat who'd swallowed yet another hair tie. Nathan had kissed me goodbye at 5:45. Quick peck on the forehead, cologne already perfect, tie already knotted. "Big meeting with regional today," he'd said. "I'll watch Lily after school since you're covering the emergency shift." Claire had texted me around 7, showing a property all day, but I can grab Lily if you need me to. You know, I love my niece time. She always ended texts with too many exclamation points. It used to annoy me when I first came home when everything felt too bright and too loud. But Claire had been patient with me. Casseroles when I couldn't get out of bed. Taking Lily to the park when the sound of her playing was too much for my frayed nerves. "Nathan has it covered," I texted back. She responded with a string of heart emojis. By noon, I'd completed 3 surgeries, vaccinated 8 dogs, and talked a grieving farmer through his retriever's cancer diagnosis. I was good at this life. I was healing. The nightmares only came twice a week now. I was washing my hands when my phone rang. The hospital's main line. "Is this Rachel Calloway?" The soap dispenser clattered into the sink. The drive should have taken 20 minutes. I made it in 8. Running every red light muscle memory from convoy runs in Afghanistan, keeping my hands steady while my chest became a tornado. My mind kept replaying the morning. Lily had been quiet at breakfast, pushing her cereal around, not eating. When I'd asked if she was okay, she nodded, but didn't meet my eyes. Daddy was up late again, she'd said. I heard him on the phone. Now those words felt different. The late nights, the distracted dinners, the way Nathan had started doing his own laundry, the way Claire always seemed to know things about our house that I hadn't told her, that we'd fixed the garage door, that Nathan had started a new cologne. I'd blamed myself. The war had changed me. I wasn't the woman Nathan had married. I was harder now, more vigilant. Maybe he'd gotten tired of waiting for his wife to come all the way home. But whatever problems we had, Nathan was a good father, wasn't he? The pediatric ICU smelled like fear and antiseptic, a combination that transported me straight back to field hospitals overseas. But this was worse. This was my daughter. Dr. Marcus stood by the nurse's station studying a chart. I'd known him since he was a skinny pre-med kid who sat behind me in calculus. His face told me everything before he said a word. She has a severe concussion, 3 broken ribs, and a fractured wrist. Her shoulder was dislocated, but we've reset it. There's significant bruising along her spine. He paused. She fell down the stairs according to your husband. Where is Nathan? He left after dropping her off. Said he had an important meeting. An important meeting? Our daughter in the ICU, and he had an important meeting. Marcus's voice dropped. The pattern of injuries is consistent with a fall, but some of the bruising looks defensive. Tori, I need to ask, is there anything you want to tell me before I file my report?
I thought of Nathan's gentle hands braiding Lily's hair, his patience when she struggled with reading. Can I see my daughter? They led me to her room. Lily looked impossibly small in the hospital bed, machines monitoring her vitals, her arm in a bright pink cast, purple bruises coloring her cheek. I pulled a chair close and took her hand. Her fingers were still dimpled at the knuckles like a baby's. I'd held those same fingers through her first steps, her first day of school when she got her ears pierced last month. After an hour, her eyes fluttered open. Mommy, I'm here, baby. You're safe. Her eyes filled with tears. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to see them. My heart stopped. See who, sweetheart? Daddy and Aunt Claire. Her voice was barely above a whisper. They were in your bed doing grown-up things with no clothes. The room tilted. I gripped the bed hard enough to crack it. Are you sure it was Aunt Claire? She was wearing the bracelet I made her, the one with the purple beads and her perfume, the one that smells like vanilla cookies. Lily's voice broke. I just wanted Mr. Buttons. He was lonely in my room, and I thought if I was really quiet, nobody would know. What happened then? Daddy saw me in the doorway. His face got all red and scary. He grabbed my arm right here. She pointed to purple finger marks on her upper arm. He was yelling that I ruined everything. Then he pushed me hard. I fell all the way down backwards. My vision tunneled. Red crept in at the edges. What did they do after? I couldn't move. Everything hurt so bad. Aunt Claire came down in your yellow robe, Grandma's robe, and she was crying. Daddy said they had to take me to the hospital, but they had to get their story straight first. He made me promise not to tell. He said if I told, you would leave, and it would be all my fault for sneaking around. Oh, sweetheart, none of this is your fault. Not one single bit. Dr. Marcus had returned with a social worker. As Lily repeated her story, I felt something cold settle over me. The same clarity I'd felt before missions. The same deadly calm that preceded necessary action. These cases can be complicated, the social worker said gently. It could take time. Time. While my 7-year-old lay broken in a hospital bed, betrayed by the 2 people she trusted most after me, they wanted time. I kissed Lily's forehead as she drifted back to sleep, the pain medication taking hold. Then I stepped into the hallway and called my mother. She answered on the second ring, voice bright. Rachel, is Lily excited about her? Mom, I need you at St. Mary's Pediatric ICU. Nathan pushed Lily down the stairs. She caught him in bed with Claire. Silence. Then I'll be there in 10 minutes. She arrived in 8. One look at Lily through the glass, and my mother's jaw became stone. Ruth Calloway was 68 years old, a retired school principal who still made grown men nervous. "Tell me everything." I did. Every word. "Victoria," she said, using my full name the way she only did when things were serious. "Don't do anything stupid. Define stupid. Whatever you're thinking with that look on your face, the same look you had coming back from your second tour. Let the police handle this." I pulled out my phone. The Find My app showed Nathan's phone was home. Claire's Instagram showed a story posted 3 hours ago. A wine glass with the caption, "Afternoon off." Location tag, "Our neighborhood. He's still there, Mom, with her in my house. While Lily lies here with broken ribs. Victoria, please." But I was already walking toward the elevator. The cold clarity had settled completely now. That mission mindset. Assess, plan, execute. I drove home carefully, observing every traffic law. I parked 2 blocks away at the park where Lily liked to feed ducks and walk the rest. The walk gave me time to control my breathing, to push the rage down until it became something useful. Rage made you sloppy. Cold precision kept you alive. Our house looked completely normal from the outside. Nathan's BMW in the driveway, freshly washed. Claire's white Lexus parked behind it, blocking him in. The living room curtains were drawn at 3:00 in the afternoon. I knocked loud, authoritative, the kind of knock that demands an answer. Movement inside, whispered voices. Nathan opened the door, his face going from annoyed to terrified in exactly 1 second. "Rachel, I thought you'd be at the hospital." His shirt was untucked. He wryer of whiskey. "How's Lily?" "Kids, you know, always falling." And cut the act. Claire appeared behind him wearing my robe. My grandmother's silk robe that she brought back from Japan. The one I only wore on special occasions. "Rachel, this isn't what it looks like," she said, smoothing her tangled hair. "Really? Because it looks like you two nearly killed my daughter to keep your affair secret." "She fell," Nathan started, but his hand was shaking against the doorframe. I noticed the scratches on his neck. 3 parallel lines, small fingers fighting back. My brave girl had tried to defend herself. "Nathan, you have 2 choices. You let me in, and we handle this like adults, or I call the police right now and tell them you're interfering with a mother trying to collect her hospitalized child's belongings. Your choice." He stepped back. I walked in and closed the door with deliberate calm. The living room was a disaster. Empty whiskey bottle on the coffee table, 2 glasses. Claire's clothes scattered across my floor. "I want both of you to listen very carefully," I said, keeping my voice level. "I've killed for my country. I've interrogated people who thought they were tough until they learned otherwise. I've survived things that would break both of you in seconds. And right now I am deciding how this conversation ends." Nathan stumbled backward. "You're threatening us. I'll call the police. Please do. Explain to them why you're drunk at 3:00 in the afternoon while your daughter is in the ICU. Explain the defensive scratches on your neck. Explain why Claire is wearing my grandmother's robe." I could see it land in their eyes, that animal recognition of something dangerous. Good. They needed to understand exactly what they were dealing with. "Sit down," I said, "both of you." They sat. "Here is what is going to happen. You're going to give me a full written confession of everything that occurred today. The affair, Lily walking in, what you did after she fell, every detail signed and dated. Then Nathan, you're going to call your attorney because you are going to need one. And Claire," I turned to look at my sister. "This woman I had trusted with my daughter. This woman I had loved my entire life. I want you out of our lives, every version of it. Done." Neither of them spoke. Or I said quietly, "I walk back out that door and let the police find you exactly as you are right now. Your choice. But you have about 30 seconds to decide." Nathan's hands wouldn't stop shaking. Claire was crying in a way that had nothing to do with guilt and everything to do with self-preservation. 30 seconds, I said again, starting now. When I walked back into Lily's hospital room 2 hours later, her eyes were open and tracking the cartoon playing softly on the ceiling-mounted screen. My mother stood up from her chair the moment she saw my face. "Well," she said quietly. I held up a folded document signed, witnessed by a notary I'd called in on an emergency basis. Nathan's confession in his own handwriting, including the part where he described Lily falling and then spending 20 minutes getting his story straight before driving her to the hospital. My mother closed her eyes. "The police have a copy," I said. "His attorney has been called. The bank's board of directors will have what they need by Monday morning." I sat down next to Lily and took her small hand. "It's done, Mommy." Lily turned toward me, her voice still thin. "Right here, baby. Did you fix it?"
I looked at her bruised face, her pink cast, the machine still monitoring every heartbeat. I thought about the road ahead, the lawyers, the custody hearings, the way she'd have to learn that two of the people she loved most had failed her in the worst possible way. None of it would be easy. None of it would be clean. But Lily was alive. She was breathing, and nobody who had hurt her was going to walk away untouched. "Yes, sweetheart," I said, pressing my lips to her forehead. Mommy fixed it. I had spent 20 years learning to survive impossible things. I had come home from 3 wars in one piece. Barely, but in one piece. I had rebuilt myself from the ground up in a small Iowa town with purple rain boots by the front door and dinosaur drawings on the refrigerator. Nobody was going to take that from us. Nobody.